Hello and welcome. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm TobyUTD. What I'm going to be doing today is going through all the United squad, mainly the players that are currently playing quite a lot and a few of the players that aren't playing a lot. I'm not going to include many of the young players and I'm going to rate them all out of 10. Bit of background on myself, I'm not the sort of person that goes with what's popular when it comes to the football opinions. I'm very passionate on profiling players correctly and how they can be used in different systems. For example, if one player is bad in one system for a manager, I think they could be better in a different system or with a different manager. And as I'm going through the players, I'll explain in more detail on what I mean by that. So we're going to start off with the goalkeepers, and on this list I'm only including David De Gea and Dean Henderson. Now the main reason for that is Tom Heaton is more of a fringe player, he's a backup keeper, and Dubravka has only just joined. Now when we assess David De Gea as a goalkeeper, statistically he isn't great, okay? Most people would say he's a fantastic shot stopper. I think he is a good shot stopper, but I think he is a very overrated shot stopper as well. Now there are 4 aspects to a goalkeeper where I think you need to be rated on. That is your shot stopping and your consistency of your shot stopping, is how good you are dealing with balls aerially, it's how good you are at sweeping, and it's how good your ball distribution is. I think Manchester United right now are at a point where we're ready to move on from David De Gea. I think we've been ready to move on from David De Gea for a couple years now. Now considering he's only good at one of 4 aspects of being a goalkeeper, and one of those aspects he isn't prolific at anymore, okay? David De Gea gets a 3 out of 10. And the majority of fans would think I'm crazy, you probably turn off at the video right now. David De Gea looks very good when Manchester United are bad, and David De Gea looks very good when Manchester United play a low line. Under Mourinho, when David De Gea was being called the best keeper in the world, we were playing a very deep line, he didn't have to distribute much, he didn't have to sweep much at all, and his shot stopping came to prove how good he was. But as time has got on, statistically, his shot stopping has decreased, that is a fact. And it is factual that he is one of the worst goalkeepers in the world at sweeping, claiming area balls and distribution. Now if we move on to Dean Henderson is quite the opposite. Dean Henderson can distribute, not as good as I think some of the big Dean Henderson fans make out he can distribute. He's very good at long balls, very good at pumping the ball into the attacking third, which is a very useful attribute to have, providing you have the correct striker to take the ball down. Now he's very good at claiming area balls and he's very good at sweeping, and his shot stopping is good. I wouldn't say it's prolific, it's not the best, but he certainly is a good goalkeeper. And he is an international goalkeeper. David De Gea has been out of the Spain squad for quite a long time. He's surplus to requirement because there are better goalkeepers that are Spanish, like Robert Sanchez or David Raya for example. Henderson was able to take Sheffield United through promotion and they were pushing for a European place. At United, when he came in the Rolly, we were fantastic. We played a high line, we played the 4th or 5th highest line in the league I believe. From memory we've lost 1 game and that was when Maguire came out of the squad and that was against Liverpool. And ever since then we haven't seen him, and now he's on loan at Nottingham Forest. Now based on how good he is overall as a goalkeeper, I think Dean Henderson's a 7 out of 10 goalkeeper. Do I think he's the goalkeeper that is the future of Manchester United? I'm not sure. I think he definitely deserves a chance at being in the starting position. I would let De Gea go on a free, give Dean Henderson a full year at United, playing around better players, because at the moment at Forest, Dean Henderson is easily Nottingham Forest's best player. A few of the games he hasn't looked great, but the goalkeeper is just as good as the players in front of them, to a certain extent, okay? Now if you're a goalkeeper that's as good as Dean Henderson, and you're playing for a newly promoted team, you're not always going to look your best. So that comes in at an average rating of 5. So we're moving on to the defence now, and I actually think the defence at United is 100% the best department. So we'll start off with the centre-backs. I'm going to start with Lindelof. Now, the thing with Lindelof is to say he's a bit soft. His ball playing ability is okay. He's much better on the long range, but he doesn't pull out as often he does. I think he does a few assists here and there which are long range passes, and he's held as an amazing ball playing centre-back. He isn't an amazing ball playing centre-back. I'd say he's alright, okay? He's not great in the air, he's not that strong. His reading of the game is good, but I think with Lindelof, I'm quite happy to give Lindelof a 7 out of 10. Next, we've got the most divided player in the world at the moment, the most scrutinised, easily the most scrutinised player probably in world football, maybe the most scrutinised sportsman in world football, and that's Harry Maguire. Now, I'm not the sort of person that's going to scrutinise Harry Maguire. Do I think he should have been given the captain's armband at Manchester United? I don't think so. I don't think he should have been given that at all. Do I think Harry Maguire is a bad football player? Absolutely not. Do I think Harry Maguire is a world-class football player? Absolutely not. He's a world-class footballer at international level, right? Okay? Now that is factual. If you go on international football over the past few years, 3 to 5 years, He is 100% a top 3 centre back at international level. Has Harry Maguire improved Manchester United from what we had before he joined? Yes. Is Harry Maguire worth £80 million? No, he's not. Harry Maguire has a rare skill set that not all modern centre-backs have to perform at a consistent level. Harry Maguire is one of the best line-breaking football players as a centre-back I've seen in a long time, and he's one of the best in the world, that's factual. He's very good in the air, he's good in the tackle, but he has deficiencies, okay? He's not very mobile, he is very slow. His ability to turn isn't great. It's kind of like watching a double-decker bus. Now, some football players have big deficiencies and their profile needs to be matched correctly to their teammates and to the style of football you're going to be playing. Now, if we look at Harry Maguire's best times at Manchester United, it's been when Dean Henderson has been playing in goal. We've played a higher line. He's got a keeper behind him who's proactive, he's happy to sweep, and he's happy to come out and protect his defence. Maguire looks worse when David De Gea plays, and that is factual. If you look at Maguire for England, when he's played with Pickford, another proactive goalkeeper who can sweep, who's happy to claim balls, Maguire looks fantastic. He was in the team of the tournament at Euro 2020. The problem with Harry Maguire is that the amount of hate he receives has escalated so much. If he makes one mistake in a game, it's highlighted. It doesn't show all the good things that he does on the football pitch. The other thing with Harry Maguire is a way to weed out the casual football fans. Okay, these are people that don't actually watch Manchester United. They could be rival fans. They could be United fans that their understanding of the game isn't that very high at all. On that basis, I give Maguire a 7.5, which I think is a fair rating personally. Now, next is the new boy, Lisandro Martinez, the Butcher. I really like Lisandro. I did think he would struggle coming into the Premier League early. He hasn't shown that yet. He hasn't played every team yet. I can almost feel like a mistake will come early from watching Martinez. As far as I'm concerned, Lisandro Martinez, and you can hold me to this, I shit you not, he is probably, I'm 99.9% sure, he is the best line-breaking centre-back in the Premier League, and one of, if not, the best ball-playing centre-back in the league. When I watch him, it's unbelievable. It's a night and day. The stuff he can do with the football is crazy, and the fact he's so good at being a defender as well, given his size, it's not often you find centre backs who are that small. So again, Lisandro Martinez as well. He gets a 7.5. I want to see more of him. I think that rating could easily go up to an 8 or 9. Okay, next we've got Rafael Varane. When we signed Rafael Varane, I was gassed. I thought we got Mr. Champions League coming in. We've got a Rolls Royce centre back. And then he's kind of started playing and the injuries creeped up. Now, we all knew he was injury prone and we weren't going to see him every game, right? But there has been a few games where Rafael Varane has played, and consistently quite a few games where he's been quite poor. Again, with Rafael Varane, I feel like he's one of those profile players where he can look better in a certain system. Rafael Varane's not a bad centre-back at all, okay? I don't think he is better than Harry Maguire. People may call me crazy. People may turn off watching the video at that point. But keep your brain open to conversation, okay? Rafael Varane's very fast. He's good in the air. He's not prolific in the air. He's very good in the tackle, very good in the duel. He lacks ball-playing ability. And I think he's got to a point in his career where the injuries have taken a toll of him, and he's not himself every game. He isn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely up there with the best centre-backs in the league, but I think right now, he's playing great. He wasn't playing great, and I think there's a bit of revisionism with Varane there. People think we've got this Mr. Champions League back in our team. I don't think he's a long-lasting centre-back at Manchester United. I think he will be fizzled out eventually. Whether that's for Harry Maguire, I don't know. Whether we sign new centre-backs, I don't know. So yeah, Varane gets a 7. Next, we got Diogo Dalot. When I tell you, I was in the trenches for Diogo Dalot on Twitter, on TikTok, you name it. I was saying Wan-Bissaka needed to get dropped. We need to invest in Diogo Dalot. Now, the reason for that is I always saw Diogo Dalot with quality. Okay, when he played football matches, he's shown glimpses of quality that has shown he could be a fantastic football player. Jose Mourinho said he's one of the best fullbacks in the world at his age. You forget when we signed him, he was a teenager and he's still very young. And now he's playing consistently. He's playing consistently under a manager that supports him, gives him the freedom to play how he wants to play. I think Dalot is a fantastic football player. I give him a 7. He's great in the air. He's very good with both feet. He's decent in the tackle. His crossing ability from a wide position is poor, okay? From a deeper position in a half space, sort of like Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's a lot better going into the box. Dalot can break lines, he can come inside, he can get forward. Look, he's a solid fullback. And then we've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a player who is another mean player similar to Harry Maguire. I think he's definitely misprofiled to an extent. It's not aesthetically pleasing to watch, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka is one of the best dribblers in the Premier League, and I stand by that. His dribbling ability is crazy. The way he can manoeuvre his body around is very gangly, and he beats players very well. His crossing is okay. His 1v1 duel rate is incredible. The problem with Wan-Bissaka is that he doesn't read the game very well. He's not a very good line-breaking passer. His heading is very poor. He kind of headers it like a girl. He's not someone who I would pick if I was a manager for a fullback currently in the modern game. I think against certain opposition, he would be a great asset to have in the squad. I think he's a good backup, but I would look to move him on eventually. So for that basis, Wan-Bissaka gets a 5 from me. For the midfield, now Bruno Fernandes is a football player that I haven't really liked for quite a long time. I didn't like the way he plays football. I feel like he treats the ball like a grenade. He gives it away too much. He plays ridiculous passes that are never going to come off in a million years. But his goal output is ridiculously high. His assist output is ridiculously high. And for a squad that struggles to score goals most recently, how can you take that out of the team? You know, that's kind of what I realised. I was under this impression that if we take him out of the team, we could keep the ball better, we could score more goals. But when you analyse the team as a whole, we don't have enough goal scorers. On that basis, I give Bruno Fernandes a 7 out of 10. Moving on to Christian Eriksen. Now, Christian Eriksen, I thought I saw the best of Eriksen at Spurs. Now, I could be wrong. I may change my mind on that. Yesterday, I watched the Denmark-France game. He was absolutely unbelievable. I think the best thing about Christian Eriksen at the moment is that no matter where he is on a football pitch, he can get himself out of danger and he can create danger. I feel like he's really coming into his prime years as a football player, and all of his qualities are starting to entwine. He is, at the moment, I would say he's phenomenal. I think once he starts contributing more to goals, he won't get his flowers until that. But the way he's playing right now, I could see him in the Premier League team of the season. I'd give him right now a 7 out of 10 as well. The next is Fred. Look, I don't like Fred. I've not liked Fred for a long time. Fred's bang average. You know, people tell me he's good for Brazil. I struggle to believe it. I struggle to believe you're also up at 3 a.m. watching Brazil as well. He's short, he's not very strong, he isn't press resistant, he's an okay dribbler, he's an okay passer, he doesn't break lines. He's just not a very good football player. It's as simple as that. I give Fred a 5 out of 10. I think the people that like Fred just dislike McTominay, and that's why they want Fred to play with someone else. But now that isn't really happening because we've signed Casemiro. Now, moving on to Casemiro, we haven't seen him that much at United yet, but Casemiro is a Rolls-Royce midfield player. He's a top 3-6 in the world. I have to give Casemiro an automatic 8 out of 10. If he continues playing as well as he has at Real Madrid, at United, that rating would obviously go up. And then we've got Van der Beek. Now, Van der Beek, the problem with Van der Beek is I always wanted him to play, but I kind of realised I was doing that more of a sympathy. I felt sorry for him that he wasn't playing. I do not like Van der Beek playing as a number 10. Okay, his managers say that's his best position. I don't think it's his best position in the Premier League, and he's even said that himself. He prefers to play 8 or 6. All of his best games, no doubt, have come in a pivot. Okay, Istanbul at home in the Champions League, the Watford cameo. The only game he didn't play in the pivot where he played very well was Southampton away. He played at a diamond that game. He just doesn't have any standout abilities, and he goes missing on a football pitch. When he plays in the pivot, he brings out his line-breaking passing. When he plays in the 10, he receives the ball, he passes it back automatically. Now, a bit more on that, that's a very Dutch thing to do. It's a very Dutch style of play. They receive the ball, they automatically pass it back, first touch. What that allows you to do is that allows you to take 5-10 yards closer to the goal. Okay, so let's say your defence is on the halfway line, so you consistently move up the pitch. You pass it back, you receive it again, you get closer to the goal, you do intricate passing, you score a goal inside the box. Okay, it's very Dutch. United aren't a Dutch team. We don't have that many Dutch influenced players. We don't have any players that consistently play to suit Donny van der Beek in the 10. I think his time at United has been very poor. The manager who's come in, Erik ten Hag, everyone said he's the manager who would play him and get the best out of him, and he's not even playing him. It's a very deflating time at Manchester United for Donny van der Beek. I give Van der Beek a 4 out of 10. Now the next is Scott McTominay. Now the thing with Scott McTominay is that physically he has every single attribute you would want from a Premier League midfield player. Okay, what he doesn't have is the footballing ability or the brain to smash those two together. I feel like he is misprofiled to an extent. He continually plays as the 6. Look, McTominay's not a 6. He can't receive the ball from his defenders with his back to the opposition. Okay, McTominay receiving them the ball on the half turn is dangerous. Right, what he tends to do is he swivels his body around. He loses control of the ball. He then has to make a 2-foot challenge because he's getting pressed. Right, it's dangerous. He's got a good switch of play, good in the air, strong, a great stamina system behind him. He's awful at line breaking passes. Right, awful. You may see him do 1 every 10 games. That's how bad it is. Similar issue with Fred, right? It's not good enough for a top team. You've got to be able to break lines as a midfield player. I think he's mega overrated by the fans that like him. I think he's underrated by the fans that dislike him. I'm somewhere in between. I'd lean to dislike. At the moment, I'm leaning towards like because he's playing well at the minute. And you can't deny that he's keeping Casemiro out of the team. Right now, I give McTominay a 5.5, and that brings the average to the midfield to just above 6. Moving on to the attack, I'm going to start with Rashford, mainly because I love Rashford, but I hate him at the same time. Under Louis van Gaal and under Mourinho, he's very direct, he was very skillful, he beat players all the time, and he played for his teammates. As years have gone on, we've seen it more so under Ole. He stopped playing for his teammates. He became lazy, he wouldn't defend, he wouldn't hold a midfield line. He would always want to cut in and shoot. He never always wanted to do that. His first fault now is get the ball, cut in, shoot. It's statistically harder to score a goal from outside the box. He doesn't score nowhere near enough goals in the box. And it's such a shame because he's such a good finisher. I think if he had that striker instinct which he lacks, he could have scored so many more goals in Manchester United. Goals inside the 6-yard box, goals inside the box. He's not great in the air. I give Rashford a 6.5. We're on to Martial. Now, if you take every quality a football player could need in their position and you dissected that to pound for pound quality across the entire Manchester United squad, Anthony Martial, ignoring form as well, is easily the best football player at Manchester United. Has he shown that on a consistent level recently? Nah, he hasn't. His time at Sevilla was poor. His most recent time at United was poor. But pre-season, I thought AM9 was back. I thought that's it. We've got him back. And then again, the injuries creep in. He's not the same guy as he was when he was young. All right, we've got to admit that. Doesn't have that pace anymore. Doesn't have that dribbling ability anymore. But I still rate him a 7 out of 10. You look at his quality, what he can bring, his hold-up play, his link-up play as a 9. It's phenomenal the way he drops deep for his teammates. Top notch. Anthony, I haven't seen enough of him. From what I have seen, I'm just going to give him a 6. Okay. Sancho, look, I'm not really a fan of these tech wingers, right? I prefer PMP. Yeah, I've got to be straight up with that. Has Sancho's time at United been amazing? No. It's been quite a volatile time anyway, just for managers and the process and everything around the club at the moment. But I think he could still be better. You look at him in the German league, you think he's a shadow of himself. I don't like him on the left. I like him on the right. On the left, too many ball rolls, too many body feints, not enough beating a man. Okay. On the right, he's way better. But we've just signed Anthony for a ridiculous fee, so Anthony's going to be playing on the right. Do I want to see Sancho on the left whilst Anthony's playing? Not really. I'd rather see someone else like Martial or Rashford, to be honest, or even Alanga, which moves me on to Alanga. The problem with Alanga is he came into the squad during a volatile time, but even worse for him because he's a young kid, so he gets cut some slack. He isn't a renowned starter at Premier League level, at top 6 level. And it's not his fault, and a lot of people are complain when he plays, but he offers a lot. He's very athletic. He offers a defensive output that our wingers lack. Strong, quick, and he can finish. He can beat players, he can cross the ball. He puts his teammates on a platter sometimes and they don't finish it for him. I'll give Alanga a 6 as well. Could easily change. I do think he shouldn't be playing for United right now. I do think he should be loaned to a different club and we actually bolster our attack. But I don't think that is going to happen, so I'm happy for him to stay. I think Alanga's ceiling is very high. I think he's very underrated by a massive amount of United fans, especially on Twitter. And the last player I've got on the list, Cristiano Ronaldo, CR37. Ronaldo's finished, right? Let's cut the BS, let's cut the bullshit. Ronaldo is finished. Manchester United play 10 times better when Ronaldo does not play, okay? That is a fact. His fans may say otherwise because he's still scoring goals and they make out he's not the problem. Ronaldo will always score goals. As someone that doesn't want to see him play, I can tell you he's always going to score goals. But when you take away what the team could bring by playing Ronaldo, that's where it falls apart. Off the ball, he offers nothing, right? Stands around, we could be getting pinned, he's just walking around, offers nothing. Hold up play, build up play, he still isn't offering that much. Definitely does offer something, but he's just done, man. Like, there's nothing really much else to say on it. Ronaldo is done. We should have moved him on. I don't think we should have even signed him. I'd rather have signed an actual 9 we were going to have for the future, because signing him was just a brand deal, really, wasn't it? A brand deal worth a lot of money on weekly wages. Thanks for the nostalgia, thanks for the vibes, thanks for the sues, but come on, it's time to go, really. But that does bring the attack to an average rating of 6 as well, which I thought the midfield and the attack would be similar and the defence would be the best, and it is. If you have watched this far, obviously thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share it on your socials. I'll be making more videos weekly. Whether that's 1 or 2 videos, I don't know. But for now, this is it. Alright, sound.